Police Interceptors. Out in force in one of Britain's highest crime areas.
He's lost it, he's at trash.
Get him, quick, get him.
We're on patrol
It will kill us.
with West Yorkshire's finest.
On your back, hold the guy, get him.
Behind the wheel,
Still continuing, but it's wrong side.
armed and ready, and poised to pounce. Taking down the villains
Arms behind your back.
who put lives at risk.
Stop.
In the war against crime, the Interceptors are battling
Get down.
on the front line.
He's dangerous. There's no two ways about it.
Coming up, guns are drawn as the team hunts down suspects after a shooting. A dodgy driver makes a dash for freedom,
Got to run a Bolton Road back towards King's Road Junction.
and interceptors swoop on suspected shoplifters.
This has been a supermarket sweep of epic proportion of this, hasn't it?
Burglary, one of the crimes the Interceptors hate the most. Locking up the wrong-uns who rob people's homes is a top priority. The Interceptors know how the crooks operate and when they're most likely to strike.
It's a very dark night, and we've got patches of this rolling fog as well. And what you find is in conditions like this, is our burglary crews really come to life. We've seen a bit of a spike in the amount of activity tonight.
It's 11 p.m, a moonless night. Ideal conditions for burglars. Reports are coming through that a house has been broken into a few streets away from Interceptors Steve Oliver and rookie Michaela Scanlon.
Got a report of a burglary just down from where we are at the minute, sort of half a mile away, so we'll head down and see what we can find.
Steve's only minutes away from the address. A neighbour who called 999 has seen the burglars in action.
There's 4 Asian males, 2 at the gate of the address, 2 inside. They look like they've picked up something heavy, believed to be possibly a TV.
Locking up thieves is one of Interceptor Steve Oliver's favourite parts of the job, and tonight could be his lucky night. A big fan of the movie Die Hard, a few action hero moves might come in handy.
Something heavy, believed to be
As they approach the address,
Down there. Go.
Some sort of naked off.
they spot runners bolting off in different directions.
Stop running! Road,
As Michaela races after some of the suspects,
Thank you.
Steve spies one of the runners heading towards back gardens. But it looks like the suspects got away. As Steve goes to check down the alley,
There.
Steve gets a grip of his trousers just in time.
Get on. What are you doing, officer? Get down this side. What you said on there? Jump down. Jump down. Hand to your back. Come on.
What are you chasing me for?
What are you running for?
What?
What are you running for?
Who's running from you? No one is running from you.
Sorry, mate.
No one's running from you.
Except for you, climbing through gardens, climbing over sharp fences.
Yeah,
Just you then, mate. Got a report of a burglary, son. Just exactly that.
The lad claims to have no idea why he would run from the cops. And it's unclear who was more surprised at his discovery.
There!
The suspect or Steve.
Get on! Thanks, sir. I'm here, 5-1. Yeah, for information. We've got one running from this address. I've detained one. I think there were about 3 or 4 running up on Thornton Road. Do you want to shout at my oppo, see where she is? She's on this channel.
Michaela's runner managed to escape, but Steve's delighted to have one suspect in cuffs.
Oh, it's always a good feeling to catch anyone, but especially a burglar, and especially a burglar when they're coming away from the job as well. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh. Right, mate, you're locked up for burglary. You don't have to say anything but Miami defence if you don't mention when questioned something you later rely in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. You understand that?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, but you can't just go around arresting people for no reason.
I don't. I've just told you the reason I've arrested you, sir.
Yeah,
Did you hear me say there was no reason? I have arrested you on suspicion of burglary. You've been seen coming from a house that's been broken into. You've then climbed over a fence to try and get away, and you've then run away from me when you've seen me, which raises my suspicion. Now, you can plead all you want, sir. Yep, because what I find is the very nature of people who are going to break into houses are people who don't tell the truth. So, pending any further investigation and something that'll happen, you're going to be locked up, taken down to Trafalgar House Police Station where you'll be stuck in a cell. You'll then be interviewed about it tomorrow morning, probably, and you can give your version of events at that time. Some of which might touch on the truth, very little, however, I imagine. Yep, brilliant.
Hey, it's funny how you protest your innocence when you're running off from a police officer climbing over a sharp fence, having been seen near the scene of a reported burglary.
At the end of the road, they spot a silver Astra. It then makes a hasty retreat, raising Steve's suspicions.
Cheeky sod.
He suspects the occupants of the Astra might be linked to the burglary and alerts the rest of the team.
He's the guy you need to be catching.
Yeah, he's probably the guy that's come to pick you up.
Coming up, the driver of the Astra fails to stop.
Beautiful.
And there's a surprise in store for Steve and the team.
This room, which looks like the beginning of a cannabis factory.
Down there. Go.
Interceptors Steve and Michaela legged it after 4 men suspected of burgling a house.
There!
Steve caught one of them, but 3 others got away. Then a silver Astra appeared, but made off after spotting the cop car.
Cheeky sod.
Steve suspected they might have been involved in the burglary and radioed through the registration. Now, interceptors across town are on the tail of the silver Astra. They bang on the blues, but the driver's refusing to stop. They then try boxing it in, but the desperate driver rams his way out. He makes off. Finally realising he can't outrun the cops, he gives up. The 3 suspects in the Astra have some explaining to do. Meanwhile, Steve goes to check the property that's been burgled.
I find burglary is it's one of those offences where you break into somebody's house. This is somebody's castle, you know, an Englishman's home and his castle. And you go in through their personal belongings. It's an attack on you personally, and I just find it, it's the lowest of the low, isn't it, really? How are we doing? We've got out, man.
There are clear signs of a break-in. The house looks lived in, but there's no one at home. And Steve's in for a surprise in the bedroom.
Yeah, beautiful. We've got this room, which looks like the beginning of a cannabis factory. You've got the foil on the walls to keep the heat in. You've got the extractor fans to just keep the air circulating, and it's just awaiting plants, compost, and really finishing off. We do get reports quite commonly of burglaries in places like this where people know where the cannabis farm is, where the cannabis factory is. and we'll burgle it for the cannabis itself. So it is burglary of a criminal establishment anyway. So yeah, good job.
It's not unusual for cannabis factories to get robbed. This time the thieves are too early, and Steve suspects they're not the smartest of burglars.
They've just started dealing with the electrics for abstracting it, or where the wiring goes. It looks quite a professional job, to be fair to them. Yeah, I think they've expected to find plants in here, and then they've broken in and found that they're just setting it up.
The suspect arrested on the suspicion of burglary was investigated, but due to a lack of evidence was later released, with no further action taken. The driver of the silver Astra pleaded guilty to failing to stop the police and causing damage to 2 police cars. He was ordered to pay a total of £235 in fines and costs. No further action was taken with the passengers of the Astra, and none of the occupants of the car were linked to the burglary earlier. The house owner admitted that he was going to grow cannabis, however no action was taken because no illegal drugs were located.
Run him over.
Well, that's not nice, is it?
Why is he making videos of the car for?
Makes for good telly.
More than 5,000 interceptors make up the highly skilled force in West Yorkshire. From firearms officers to response cops, the dog unit to the police helicopter.
Yeah, okay, we'll get some details from you when we're airborne.
And when they all come together on one operation, slick communication and tight teamwork is key.
Black top, white shorts.
Dog handler Duncan Matthews and German Shepherd Tia have been called to a housing estate to assist with a firearms incident.
Last night there was a shooting during which at least one person's been shot with a shotgun, or shot at, certainly.
Many of the people suspected of being involved with the shooting are still on the loose, hopefully not for much longer.
We've just had information that one of the suspects responsible for the shooting has been seen on the estate, so we're just trying to get units into the area now.
The interceptors need to round up the suspects and find the weapon that was used before anyone else gets hurt. With around 10,000 people living on the estate, it needs to be a controlled operation.
The firearms teams that are going to be the first ones on the scene to try and deal with any threat that's there. Obviously, we're going to bear in mind not only our safety, but general members of the public. It's on quite a large housing estate.
Veteran interceptor Duncan's been on the force for 18 years. He's highly trained in public order and surveillance skills, which you might need on this job. His partner, 7-year-old German Shepherd Tia, lives and works with Duncan and has rounded up more than 100 criminals in her 7 years of service. Above the estate, the eye in the sky has got a suspect in their sights.
He's got a grey hoodie on, or grey jacket, dark trainers.
Firearms officers arrive on the scene and are guided towards one of the runners by the helicopter.
Yeah, he's currently at the hopping.
Within minutes, they've got the runner. He's believed to be one of the suspects wanted for the shooting the night before, but interceptors still need to find the others.
Stand still for me. Stop dicking about. I'm happy, mate. Search for weapons.
While more firearms officers hunt for the other suspects, Duncan's tasked to find the gun that was used in the shooting. The helicopter team have pinpointed a garden on the estate where they think the suspects may have left something behind.
It's just looking for whatever's possibly been discarded by these males that were running off. Get up, go on. Well, they said just in this area is been.
According to the eye in the sky, the suspect spent a lot of time under the tree.
Get in, Tia. Go on. In, get in. Tia, get in. Where is it? Where is it?
But fully fledged firearms dog Tia is showing no interest.
I can't see anything that's, obviously been turned upside down or dug into, but without doing a fingertips search and going through that, I can't say it's clear. All I can say is the dog's not giving any indication on it. Come on. If something's been buried, we're going to struggle to find it. We'll probably get a search team in now to come and do it properly, just to make sure.
Meanwhile, there's another lead. There's a chance the suspects who are still at large are holed up in a house.
There's further information come through now. So they're just moving round to that address now. We're going to put an overt containment on it with the armed officers, and challenges will be made for the occupants to come out.
The suspects may be inside the address and they could be armed.
Get back round that way. Round that way, now.
Firearms officers are fully loaded with live ammunition, but kids from the estate are straying into the area. But before the interceptors can approach the house, another group of lads appear at the end of the street. And an officer thinks he recognises one of them.
That looks like it.
Let's have a look.
That's definitely him, isn't it?
He thinks it's one of the suspects.
That's him, so yeah.
Now searching the house is on hold.
He said he's got into a car.
The priority for my determination now is possible sighting of a subject male just getting into a vehicle.
The suspect's made off in a silver car, but the helicopter has a bird's eye view.
And pass over to you, please, for talking.
Vehicle is the junction unit is taking a left.
With firearms officers leading the pursuit, the police helicopter above and Duncan with the police dog bringing up the rear, there's no escaping the interceptors.
All call signs from OXC confirm this is a enforced vehicle stop. Challenge from cover. We will go front, acknowledge.
The plan is to T-pack the suspect's silver car, bringing it to a stop by boxing it in. The car's in sight.
Oh no, they're pulling. Get him now, get him. Strike.
They don't know if the occupants of the car are armed, but the interceptors are taking no chances. They get the driver out first, giving him clear instructions.
Walk slowly to me!
Then the front seat passenger.
Look at me!
Until the suspects are searched for concealed weapons, the interceptors are making sure they don't make any sudden movements. It's a tense situation and one all the officers train for. With the third suspect out of the car, they need to make sure no one's hiding inside.
Clear. Yeah.
No.
It's a textbook operation by the team. All three men are in cuffs and no one's been injured, but members of the public are getting too close.
Guys, back up the street, please. Just up to the end of the road. I'm not going to tell you again. Get back up the street, now! Can you keep going up to the end of the street, please? Now! You have been told repeatedly, get back up there.
And it's not only the pedestrians who are refusing to listen to the interceptors.
Well, you want to stop right there and get right over to the pavement if you're thinking of coming past me. Fan!
The lads have nothing on them, and it's unclear if they were involved in the shooting, but there are more suspects still at large, and the interceptors have yet to find the missing weapon. The helicopter's been watching the house that still needs to be searched, and it's had a suspicious visitor.
We've got information now that there's another vehicle that's just been sighted going back to the address. Somebody's gone from the vehicle into the address and come quickly back out again. They've driven off in the vehicle. So the helicopter's following that vehicle. Yeah. And now we're going to look at doing a stop on that vehicle as well.
There's a chance the visitor removed the gun that was used the night before, then made off in a light blue car.
The immediate threat and the criteria is met.
As Duncan arrives, firearms officers already have 3 suspects from the light blue car in cuffs.
Yes, bear in mind all the activity we're getting.
And yet again, Duncan's faced with keeping curious locals away from the scene.
Round the corner, out the way. Keep going. Keep going. Down.
Big man.
It's unclear if the men are involved with the shooting or why they made a hasty visit to the suspect's house, but they don't have the outstanding weapon. The weather's taking a turn for the worse, but with several suspects and a gun still at large, the Interceptors are undeterred.
We're going back to the address that we plotted up on originally. We're now going back to this address because there's still the outstanding suspects and there's still an outstanding gun as well.
Firearms officers quickly get into position. With their loaded weapons trained on the house, once again members of the public are wandering dangerously close.
Back up the street. Back up that way. Please use some common sense. Go back up that way. Please, it's closed. Just keep going. Use some common sense. Go round the corner. Get round the corner now.
Interceptors are removing the suspects in the house one at a time.
Listen to me, fella. Keep walking towards me. Keep walking towards me, the lad.
With a chance he could be armed, the Interceptors are aiming a taser to deter any sudden movements. If he makes one wrong move, he'll get 50,000 volts.
Stop. Turn around. Down to me. Stand on your head. Put your hands up. Put your back.
He's not under arrest, he's just detained at this moment in time.
It's another textbook operation as women and children are safely removed from the house.
Yeah, you stay there. Yes. Just come down and sit with me.
They claim there's no one left inside, but the Interceptors can't take their word for it.
All we're going to do now is we're going to do a search of the premises. Tia's going to be sent in first as the firearm support dog. It's a controlled search. If she finds somebody, depending on what that person's doing, will depend on how she reacts. If they're compliant and they're sitting or they're laying or they're hiding in something, she'll stand there and she'll bark at them. If the person's in the room is non-compliant, they decide to either struggle or run, then she'll detain them until we can move in and then detain them properly. Yep, good to go.
With a man shot the night before, suspects for the shooting still on the loose, and a gun still at large, the firearms officers are approaching the property with extreme caution.
Occupant number... Oh, police! Show yourselves now! Occupant number... Oh, police, show yourselves now!
Okay.
Leave to the dog. Show yourself. We'll send the dog.
Before they enter, Fearless T is going in first to make sure no suspects are lying in wait. It's a tense few minutes as she checks every room in the house.
Dog's safe, no indication. She did go to the top of the stairs and round to the left out of sight. Didn't get any indication from up there either. She's been through all open doors on the ground floor.
Confident there are no people hiding inside, now it's safe for the firearms officers to search the house for weapons. And Duncan's relieved no officers or the dog came to any harm.
It sounds awful, but, you know, I'd rather be going home tonight with the dog injured than an officer when it comes down to it, and that's what they're there for. Their nose is so much better than, you know, than we can look for. We're happy that there's nobody in that house now.
The first man arrested in connection with the incident the night before is still under investigation. The weapon used in the offence is still outstanding. 11 people in total have been arrested in connection with the incident, which is still under investigation. The 2 victims who were wounded in the incident spent some time in hospital and are now on the road to recovery. Coming up, Steve puts his stinger to the test.
Whereabouts are you going at the moment, sir?
Going home.
You're going home.
And another feckless driver legs it. dangerous driving's on the increase all across the country.
Got a crash.
Get it, quick, get it.
And one of the most effective tools in the Interceptors' arsenal to stop the lethal drivers in their tracks is the Stinger. The extendable strip of metal spikes punctures tyres, bringing dangerous drivers to a standstill.
Stung.
X-ray Romeo 57 requesting M pass and T-back Forest please. And behind the white Golf, 58 Whitehall Road towards Hippo.
It's almost midnight on the outskirts of Halifax.
Thank you. We're temporarily held. Red traffic lights, Hippo home.
Interceptors are tailing a white hire car that's on their hot list.
We've got a green light and it's no deviation towards Halifax onto Leeds Road.
Earlier in the day, the hired white Golf failed to stop for the cops. Interceptors were forced to abandon the pursuit when the Golf R, capable of doing 170 miles an hour, reached dangerous speeds, dragging it through the city centre.
I've not picked it up yet. 57, yeah, I want him T-back Forest please. This Golf's failed to stop this morning to me already at 120 mile an hour. I'm behind it now towards Hippo.
Keen to avoid another high-speed pursuit, the Interceptors are calling in Steve Oliver with his Stinger, who's heading directly toward the suspect car.
It's coming towards us. We are on the
Thank you. We're temporary held.
X-ray Romeo 52. I'm on Leeds Road now, just at the Homewood car sales, just before the junction with Bradford Road. Do you want me to get Stinger out here, Andy?
Yes. I'm not going to light up, we just Stinger though. Sort of red.
The person driving this Golf earlier could have killed on the roads, and the Interceptors need to get the car stopped in case another pursuit starts. It's all in the timing. If you can throw the Stinger across the driver's path at the right time, it will have the desired effect.
Yes, we're just approaching your position now, Steve. We're coming down Long Straight. We're only travelling at 40 miles an hour.
But throwing it out in front of the wrong car would be disastrous.
So it's behind some sort of red, it looks like an MPV people carrier. You've got a red people carrier and then the Golf's directly behind it and us.
Communication between Steve and the cops behind the Golf is crucial.
Yeah, you'll see my car to your offside, mate, facing towards you. I'm just near Homewood car sales, just there.
We're approaching 30s now, Steve. You should see the red people carrier, the Golf's directly behind it. We're going to be seizing it anyway, so just sting it.
The pressure's on. Steve's timing needs to be perfect.
Yeah, 120, I'm about 40 yards short of the lights, mate.
Yeah, in view.
As the red people carrier passes, the driver of the Golf thinks better of it.
Yeah, we are. Stop.
What's happened?
Just one key off you.
Open the door.
Turn it off.
Give him the keys off.
That it stopped, it saw me throw it out and stopped. It's always nice when the Stinger works, but we've got the vehicle before it's made off. It's failed to stop yesterday. It's seen the Stinger go out, he's fancied saving 4 tyres, so he's stopped for us. Had he made off, he wouldn't have gone very far without his tyres anyway. But it's a good result.
Whose car is it?
Hired.
It's hired.
Well, the driver's denying all knowledge of the previous offences and is claiming he hired the car a few hours ago.
So we need to find out when you hired it.
Okay,
All right,
no
come and have a
worries.
seat then. Who's got key? Who's got key for it?
He's here. Well, give him the key, put it in here.
Is this your paperwork?
Let me see if he'll just do one more.
Yeah, right.
High-spec cars can be a headache for the Interceptors, and Steve's happy there'll be one less on the roads tonight.
We get a lot of problems with rented cars, weekend millionaires, as we refer to them. Young kids who couldn't afford to buy one of these cars. High-performance vehicles. We've got a Golf R here, which is about 300 brake horsepower, I think. Come around in Mercs, Beamers, Audis. They'll come out in and then drive like utter twonks in them. The difficulty we have is in tracing them, but the drivers simply won't stop and will take the chance.
The driver was arrested for the previous offence of dangerous driving and failed to stop. But as it couldn't be proven he was the driver, no further action was taken. It's 6 a.m. and Steve's coming to the end of a 10-hour night shift. As he heads back to the Nick to catch up on his paperwork, a black Audi parked on double yellows catches his eye.
Yeah, could you run me a vehicle through, please, on Westgate that's just outside? There should be a little Audi A1.
It's a routine check, but the driver parked in front of the Audi's got a problem and flags Steve over.
Are you working right now?
Yes, mate.
Because I've just had somebody, you know, the car behind me.
Yeah.
He went in the back of me.
Yeah.
And when I've told him that, like, he's saying, I don't care what happens and all this, that, the other. I'm saying, what are you on about?
Yeah. Have you exchanged details with him at all?
He won't exchange detail. Well, come on, man, you took my car.
Yeah,
And he's like, there's no damage. He was like too cavalier about it, you know, like
Yeah.
it didn't matter. I think he must be drinking and driving, right? Because he came right close up to my car, right, and then he just hit it.
Right. What we're going to do is float around anyway, because we get a lot of problems with drink and drug. Anyway.
Steve drives round the block and then spots the Audi.
This vehicle's just been seen outside a nightclub that's open until early hours of the morning. Oh, late hours of the morning, never mind early hours. We have a lot of problems with drink drivers and drug dealing around the club anyway. This vehicle's reported as having just run into the back of another car outside that club, and then the drivers refused to give details.
Control room confirms the vehicle's legit and Steve's expecting a straightforward stop.
The vehicle itself does come back insured, so I wouldn't imagine he's going to make off, but we shall see.
He switches on the blues. The driver's not making off, but he's not stopping either. Trundling through a red light, Steve suspects the driver's weighing up his options.
X-ray Romeo 52. Yeah, Queens Road, Bradford, behind Alpha. It's taking its time to stop at the moment, just indicating in standby.
The driver pulls in, and Steve thinks the threat of a high-speed pursuit is over.
Yeah, he has come to a stop. Yeah, right, sir.
Right, boss.
Is the engine turned off for me, please? Smashing. Whereabouts are you going at the moment, sir?
Going home.
You're going home? You want to come and take a seat in my car for me, sir?
The driver's taking his time. Then starts the engine. Steve tries to grab the keys, but the driver floors it. The dodgy driver's getting away.
X-ray Romeo 52 vehicles now making off Queens Road towards Kings Road Junction. Single crew TPAC train. Request TPAC authority, please.
Catching up, he spots the driver ahead.
Yes, that's acknowledged, thank you. And it's a crash, Kings Road, stand by.
But the chase is not over. The driver's tearing off on foot, with Steve hot on his heels. He comes within kicking distance, but the driver's a budding Usain Bolt.
X-ray Romeo 52. Got to run a Bolton Road back towards Kings Road Junction.
And the gap's opening up. Vaulting into undergrowth. The driver disappears.
Just gone over a fence, running back down. We've got a dog unit, it's gone to ground somewhere, I think, nearby, in some allotments.
Steve's no idea the direction the runaway driver took. He's taking a punt, but the suspect's long gone.
Just a bit annoyed. My guess is the driver's under the influence of something. As we've been talking to him, I've told him to turn the engine off. He's turned it off. As soon as I've told him to get out, door's been locked, I've gone to open it. He's started the car, I've tried to grab at the keys but haven't been able to do so. And he's driven off. Clearly
clearly in whatever intoxicated state he's in, whether it's drink or drugs. I'm guessing it's drugs. Crashed the vehicle and then made off on foot. See, I got close to him just up there, and I did think about kicking his legs, but I also considered that I'm going to trip myself up, end up sprawled on the floor, so I didn't do it. Now then.
Dog handler Daniel Airy arrives, hoping that his dog can pick up the suspect's scent. With no idea where the suspect went, it's a long shot.
I didn't see which way. I'm assuming he came out there, so I'm assuming he's been straight across and down there. Right, okay. As I say, we've been all the way along this side of the fence. Yeah. I guess there's a way through the fence here, right, that leads down to the bottom, but we haven't been inside the allotments itself.
If the suspect ran through the allotments, the dog should sniff him out.
Wait for the dog! Show yourself now and I'll send this dog! Show yourself now and I'll send this dog! This is your final warning!
The dog's worked its way down to the bottom without finding anything.
Despite losing the driver, Steve's had a lucky escape.
I've had my arm through the window when he's driven off, so...
You've got your arm through the window when it's driven off?
Yeah, we've gone up to the door. So I've grabbed at keys as he's driven off. Worst injury known to man, mate. Bruised ego.
And he's not the only one to get off lightly.
Clearly travelling at some pace. If we look back down the road, he's crossed over a carriageway into the opposing carriageway. He's then come onto a pavement. We're just lucky it took place at the time of morning when it did. Otherwise, we could have had cars coming down the hill on a sort of relatively fast corner. We could have had pedestrians on the road, and they would have been wiped out entirely without a single bit of knowledge about the incident. The fortunate thing is it's just his car, so could have been worse.
It might be the end of Steve's shift, but it's not the end for the driver.
There's always more than one way to skin a cat. The car's insured, it's registered to somebody. We'll get somebody to go around and do a keeper address. We'll get him locked up for failed stop, dangerous driving, and possibly Section 5A for driving for OPL with drugs.
2 weeks later, the registered keeper of the Audi agreed to a voluntary interview. He admitted he was the driver and awaits his day in court. Coming up, Interceptors box in a car full of suspected shoplifters.
Take you back to Nick.
And discover a haul of epic proportions.
Another one of those Russian ones.
Across the UK, shoplifting's on the rise, with the light-fingered lawbreakers stealing an estimated £500 million worth of goods every year. With over 1,000 shop thefts reported every day, catching the brazen robbers red-handed is a constant challenge for the cops.
Yeah, it's a call from Humberside. They've had a high-value shop theft at Morrison's in their area. Over £500 worth of items, including spirits, taken.
A car involved with a shoplifting incident at a supermarket 80 miles away has been setting off ANPR cameras and is now headed towards the city centre.
Yeah, received, and I've confirmed this is the vehicle suspect today.
Interceptors are tailing the suspect car. Half a mile away, Warren Pickard's coming to the end of his shift and joins the team for his last job of the night.
Yeah, I've been behind you, I just couldn't get on. I'm second vehicle, just behind this Peugeot that I'm overtaking now.
Gunfire will be with you in 10 seconds.
They're hoping to bring the suspect car to a stop by boxing it in with 3 cars.
Yeah, that's a received, kids. We're just going there right at the roundabout.
This motor vehicle ahead has been involved in a high-value theft from Morrison's in Humberside. Taken £500 worth of items, then done a runner from it. So we're going to stop here. We're just waiting for 3 vehicles, so we've got T-pack options. There's 2 of us here now. We're just waiting for the 3rd vehicle, which, as you can see, is directly in front of us.
Up ahead, Interceptors Clarkey and Tom are going to block the suspect car from the front.
So it's going nowhere now.
Clarkey grabs the driver. And Tom cuffs the passenger.
Right.
All three men are detained and they fit the descriptions of the suspects.
No talking, you guys.
The lads are kept separate to avoid them hatching an alibi.
It's on the seat in the back of their pal.
Yeah, 3 cars, 3 of them. Take you back to Nick. With all gear we've got.
I'll drive this.
Aware they're blocking a busy road, the interceptors need to drive the suspect's car with a boot full of the suspected stolen booty back to the station.
All right, let's get out of here.
Let's go. Plane car.
It's been a swift and slick operation for the interceptors. All three in cuffs and a potential pursuit through the city centre prevented.
Yeah, good result. Got the 3 occupants, as described, that committed the offence in Humberside. They've still got all the goods in the vehicle. So I do believe that is going to take some explaining. No damage, no injury. Type of result we like.
Back at the Nick, Warren's headed home on a high note, leaving the supermarket hall in the capable hands of Clarkie and Bob.
And as Bob's about to show you, a boot full of shopping. Now, they may have paid for it. I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? So they've got a receipt, but...
They certainly didn't get any bags. There you go. There you go. So not paid for that because the tag's not been removed.
I've not played up blades.
Yeah. So that tells me that all of that stuff's in there is stored.
It's looking like another little crate job, and we've only been on duty 1 minute. So that's us done for the rest of the day now, put his feet up.
I think we're going to have to get it out and itemise it out and take a picture of it.
Yeah. Be at it all night. You've got a scanner, we'll zap it.
Let's find a cart to put it on and then put it in lift. You know, like a trolley cart.
They could be in for a long night, and Clarkie notices the suspects have committed a schoolboy error.
Crush box of crunchy nut cornflakes. Number 1 rule of going shopping. Never put heavy stuff on light stuff. You put them out on kids' breakfast in the morning, they're just going to get a bowl of crumbs.
Right, 1 times
18 cans of Coke. Oh man, you want to see what booze in here. 8 cans of Monster.
Monster energy drink, yeah.
2 bottles.
With thingy.
Bob, more Jack. Another one of those Russian ones. Another Russian.
This has been a supermarket sweep of epic proportions, isn't it?
You know the bottle of Bacardi that they've got? That's clearly for the ladies. So everything else is in quantity in it, apart from 1 bottle of that. Me and Bob, we're having a party at office.
The party's over for the 3 suspects, who'll be spending a night in the cells, while Clarkie and Bob trawl through their haul.
They've actually nicked some stuff from the reduced aisle, so they're not that bad, are they? Can't be the worst shoplifters, it will. So 57 pence instead of 75.
Yeah, but they've got it for milk now.
Oh yeah, they haven't.
The passenger in the car was found guilty of theft and spent a night in the cells. The other 2 are currently wanted as they failed to appear at court. It took Clarkie and Bob almost an hour to itemise the stolen booty.
I'll see you then, guys. Bob.
Hey Bob.
Thanks for coming. Floor 3.
See you, Bob. Hey Bob.
Come on, lads.
More bad guys are getting caught in the act in a Fights Camera Action Christmas special, new over on 5 Spike next. Whilst here on Channel 5, it's a nervous wait for the crew on board HMS Duncan. Missile strikes begin in warship life at sea, new and next.